All right, everybody, let those notifications go out. I'm going to do a check real quick. It's hard for me to tell whether or not there's enough lighting for you all here. I am at an undisclosed location. Of course, whatever. Anyway, we are, they're doing another fire drill test. Yeah. Didn't they just do that 2 weeks ago? Okay, well, anyhow, so we are because we know we got everything cleaned up in the unit. We're all good. It is what it is. And so I know the reason for the physical. I also know the reason for the spiritual. So the Lord told me, he said, take a business trip. He said, take a bit, because we were going to next week anyway. So it just got moved up. Okay. Yeah. Another fire alarm test. And I'm just like, really, and I understand, because the narcissistic matrix needs a do-over, because, because the last time I wasn't the only one that had to move out of the unit. Yeah, there were others in the complex that apparently, I don't know if they had the same issue I did, but and so basically what happened was, because of all of that, they're saying that they got to do another annual. How many annual inspections do you need? I mean, that's just why the enemy relies on short-term memory, because just 2 weeks ago, they did their annual inspection. So we get another email. They'll be conducting their annual on such and such a date 2 weeks later. And I'm like, how many annuals are there? You should only have one annual. Annual means year, right? 1 year. You see, this is the matrix is the rabbit hole. Let that sink in. Okay? The matrix is part of the rabbit hole. And I'm like, how many annual inspections do you need to have? So the Lord said, take your business trip a week early. It's no big deal. I had it in the making for the following week anyhow, so he just moved it up. And so, no, there is nothing we can do about that. That's the thing. It's all part of the system of narcissism inside the matrix. Okay? It's all about that power of, power and control, just all of that. Okay? That's what it's all about, to try and control the people. Because I'm here to tell y'all that Chris, I was able to send him a short video from last year when I started learning about all of this. There we go. I just wanted to check everything over here. And then now I'm also checking the lighting to make sure, because, like I said, when the light's right in my face, it's difficult for me to tell what it's like for you all, because this is a plain background. Apparently, I'm not in my own place right now, but that's okay. I am in my own space. All is good. All is well. We are on it. Okay. So yes, they are doing another one of those because they needed a do-over, because the system of narcissism cannot. Remember how I said yesterday in the Truth Seeker podcast, if y'all have not caught that, I highly encourage y'all to do so. Because I break it down for you all how narcissism is a spiritual disorder. Because the dark side is all about disorder anyway. There's nothing organized about the devil and his narcissists. There's nothing, no. They can only appear as such. So that's the thing we learn about in the rabbit hole. Is that these narcissists need to maintain a public appearance, right? You know how they care what society thinks of them. Okay, so they have to make sure everything looks good to society. So basically, if something doesn't go, even though they really don't like things to go smooth and but when there's any kind of, sudden disruption, so to speak, to what they would consider, okay, this should be relatively easy. Yay, we got this, boom, 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 boom. and they passed inspection. Okay, and so everybody looked good now, right? It looked good to society. It looked good in the eyes of society. Well, because of some things that went down the other one, now they got to do another one. They got to do a do-over because they got to make sure everything looks good in the eyes of society. That's part of it. So, so that's the physical side. And the spiritual side, think about what time of year it is. Okay, remember, God's seasons are not man's season. But the time of year, we are heading into the fall. We are already in the fall season. May not feel like it for some of us outside, but we are in the fall season, entering the winter season. What are those seasons inside the matrix? Exactly, seasons that surround things that do not exist. What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So that alarm going off is designed in that small space. That loud frequency is designed to numb your autonomic nervous system. That way you have no idea that you are being radio frequency poisoned, because that's part of it. That is radio frequency poisoning 101 going on right there with those fire inspections. Because all you really need is to test it one time, have it go off, make sure everything's working right. Okay, good to go. We look good. All right, good. No, instead, they want to do it from AM to PM, on and off, intermittently, all day long. That's to numb people's autonomic nervous system. And also, that radio frequency poisoning does what? Exactly. It produces symptoms that mimic those things that don't exist. Jesus cleans everything. I say this often. More all about this on the Patreon channel. And not only that, y'all, more information from the rabbit hole. I take over to the Patreon channel. So we're only going to cover the tip of the iceberg in this video right here about the rabbit hole. And thank you that the lighting looks fine. Okay, awesome. Because I had to play around whether I need to leave that curtain in this room open or not. But okay, I want to go ahead and let's take a look at our fellow warrior who was basically in on that chat before I even hit go live. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA. Oh, Let's Just Chat show streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. And this is part of combating it. We get out of Dodge. It was the fastest plan I had one, like I said, I was planning one for next week, but that's okay. That's okay. Just move it up a notch. No biggie. And so all that stuff from the rabbit hole, right? How do you know, truth mixed with lies? Right? What's the truth and then what's the lie? Well, remember, they always have to tell you the truth first, typically. Okay, in the spiritual, the rule is, the spiritual rule is they have to tell the truth first before they try to back it up with the lie, because the truth is supposed to make that lie look believable. Think about that. Okay? That lie that is backed up behind the truth is supposed to make that lie look believable. That's why they gotta say it first. And with a heavy cloud of cognitive dissonance, or better yet, that cognitive dissonance hypnosis, that heavy brain fog, that radio frequency poisoning plays a huge role in that heavy brain fog. And if you're consuming excess salt and sugar, well then that's that. Okay, that contributes to it big time. And so it said that, well, it is worth picking our way through the rabbit hole, and I wouldn't say cherry pick the truth, but to find them. God reveals the truth. Okay, so the rabbit hole can be useful in that regard. Not everybody has to go down the rabbit hole to know what is real versus what's fake. Okay, not everybody does. But a lot of us did go down the rabbit hole. God took us down the rabbit hole for a season. But never forget, chosen ones are not meant to stay in the rabbit hole. All right, that's the point, because there's a lot of narcissism in action inside that rabbit hole. I saw it. There were so many different matrices that they were trying to pull you in one direction. And it's like I say on the Patreon channel, that a lot of that was just to suck people out of one matrix, okay, and then get into another, suck them into another one, right? Sucks them out of one and then sucks them into another one. Pulls them out of one, sucks them into another. However you want to say it. Right? The concept is the same. It was just to get people out of one matrix and into another one. And largely it had to do with the P matrix, which we have nothing to do with that anymore. We're done. We quit playing that game. Once we realized it was part of the game of narcissism on the societal level, we stopped playing. We stopped playing. And it is worth going down the rabbit hole if you must. But you've got to have discernment. See, that is how God developed my discernment. And I believe that's the same for a lot of you all that went down the rabbit hole. Is that the season where God was able to help sharpen our discernment so that we would be able to get out here. Remember, he said, I will send you back out, okay, as sheep in the midst of wolves. And that's what's happening for many of us now. I know for myself, that's the truth. He's sending me back out as a sheep in the midst of wolves. Remember, God is a promise keeper. And so we have to go down the rabbit hole for a time or two. And we learn about a lot of things inside the matrix and beyond that are just not real. Things that are made up. It is a make-believe world out there. Big time. The world stage, right? Okay, yeah, all the world is a stage. Remember, Shakespeare, the one that said that also, yeah, during his time. But see, here's the thing, the sleepers. You can tell them that the world is a stage all day long. You can show them images of people wearing silicone masks all day long. You can show that to them, and they will be like, eyes will glaze over. It will not resonate with them. Because I will tell y'all, I remember asking this question when I saw a particular public figure who was supposed to still be like influencing the P matrix in a large way. And I got to thinking, I was like, how is he even still alive? Well, the truth is he's not. A lot of these big public figures and a lot of your actors and actresses have long passed away, but they had silicone masks made of these public figures. And if the person had, why do you think we have facial recognition? Think about it. It ain't got nothing to do with protecting your device. It's to see if you have the right facial features that will match being able to wear one of those silicone masks. Because if you can do that, if you've got the right facial features to pull that off, they're going to approach, they will approach and offer tons of money. That's how a lot of people sell their souls. It's, oh yeah, you'll pay me that amount to get up here and play this role wearing this silicone mask? Oh my gosh, wow, that's like a dream come true for those who have the love of money. Let that sink in, because that's what's happening. There was a lot of actors and actresses wearing silicone masks because I'm going to tell you, a lot of your so-called politicians, they've been long gone. The original ones, they passed away years ago. But see, the sleepers who are so trauma bonded to that, they're trauma bonded to whoever it is claiming they're going to save them. Newsflash, only Jesus saves. Okay? But that rabbit hole, it goes deep, y'all. And I mean deep. That's why I was like, anybody who's got to go down that rabbit hole, if you do, you might want to put on, you know, what they call them rubber boots that come all the way up to the knee. Well, you might need it go all the way up to the thigh, because that rabbit hole goes deep. And there's a lot about the demonic realm that clones. I mean, a lot of people have known this for years. I just learned of it not too long ago. But wow, it doesn't surprise me that the demonic matrix, it clones child stars. Oh yeah, those child stars you see, so-called stars, child celebrities or what have you, they're made in a lab. They're made in a lab. Crazy, huh? But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you learn down in the rabbit hole. But see, if you're still sleeping, if you're conformed to this world, trauma bonded to the world, then they're not going to believe it. They're not going to want to believe it because it contradicts their long-held belief system that their life is normal, because narcissism has been normalized for them. So they think that's all they know. That's all they want to know. They don't want to know that they don't want to know they've been lied to since birth about everything. They can't accept it. But see, chosen one, that's why God awakens us. He knows we can accept the fact that we've been lied to since birth about a lot of things. And I mean a lot of things. That's what we learned down in the rabbit hole. And so, question from our fellow warrior Chris: does the enemy know a lot more than we realize, and they are sort of showing off by concealment and giving away little bits of truth here and there? No, the enemy does not know a lot more than we realize. Remember, nothing new under the sun. The devil he is not original. He is not a creator. He cannot procreate. The devil cannot. It's the same old routine over and over again. It's just a matter of us learning all the red flags, and then also being able to discern properly between the truth, being able to pick out the lies. No, they don't give away a little bit of the truth here and there. The truths have always been right in front of us. We just didn't know that yet. Just like the devil and his narcissists have always been hiding in plain sight. Okay, well, the truths have been too. It's just we had part of a cognitive hypnosis going on that we couldn't see that yet. That's another reason why God has awakened us at his appointed time. Never forget, I am huge on Galatians chapter 4, verse 2. Everything at God's appointed time. And when he does that, he helps us to see these things. And then we realize that these things have been here all along. Every bit of it. All these illusions. And that when you take a look around you and you think about, you do the reflecting and you think about these narratives, same old narratives that have just gone around year after year after year. And then you think about all of the pagan tradition, year after year after year. It's the same. It's Groundhog Day inside the Matrix. It's Groundhog Day down that rabbit hole. Because I saw the narcissistic abuse being dished out there, all the guilt tripping. Yes, now I cannot, y'all know I cannot control. Okay? We are in a, yeah, we are in another, let's just say we're about a half hour, about 40 minutes or so from where I live. And it's a place I've never been before. So it's kind of one of those, I pulled up the map and I let God throw the dart. Where are we going? So anyhow, and that being said, if you hear the occasional siren or what have you, it is what it is. Okay, that's one of those, it is what it is that you'll hear me say. Nothing I can do about that. But that rabbit hole had the abuse and traumatization being dished out all the time too, the guilt trip. That's what I saw. Like there was a movement, okay, pushing back against what called the, well, a lot of people call it the plandemic. I've said the scamdemic, because that's another way of saying it. It's the scam, because it's the biggest scam. It is a big health scam. Oh my gosh. One of the biggest ones in history. Or since in my lifetime, I know. And then for many of you all, same thing. It's one of the biggest health scams and scares I've ever witnessed. And just to see the level of fear that these narcissists have over their health. That's years of conditioning. That's years of programming from the television for them to be afraid of catching that or catching that. They are so afraid that I'm telling you, like I've said before, they do whatever it is the Matrix tells them to do. That's why I said, if the news media told them to drag their bare butt across that sand on the beach, they would do it. That is how perfectly programmed they are. So we learned that down in the rabbit hole. And then the gaslighting. And so there was another movement going on, and I forget the name of it, but they were giving off that appearance of pushing back against a certain thing within the scamdemic. And they were also dishing out guilt tripping if you didn't, let's just say, follow their mantra, if you will. Okay, if you didn't carry it out the way that they expected you to, it was guilt tripping over it. That's the best way that I can explain it. It's just to the best of my recollection, though, too. But there was a lot of guilt tripping from one matrix to the other. There's a lot of matrices inside the larger matrix. You have to know how to pick through them. So the enemy does not know more than we realize. It's just we have to learn what the enemy knows. We have to learn all of the tricks of the enemy, because God says he's not going to have us ignorant to the enemy devices, right? Okay. And so, yeah, okay, well, yeah, you can talk about TikTok. Well, you could say YouTube and TikTok. Well, you could pretty much say all of social media to an extent. But, yeah, TikTok right now is a huge rabbit hole heaven. And it can be quite addictive, discovering things we were not taught in school. Exactly. I know we're not taught anything spiritual in school for a reason. For a reason. And by society, yeah, the hidden knowledge. Well, again, you want to be careful with that term, the hidden knowledge. It's obviously not hidden anymore, right? So don't let cognitive dissonance trick you there, all right? Well, you could say that some of the social medias like YouTube and TikTok have replaced books for some. Well, okay, it depends. And library for rabbit hole stuff before the internet showing, well, that's funny. Okay. Because that's what I'm saying. There is no reason for any ignorance today. I mean, there really isn't on the part of chosen ones. If you want to know something, it's at your fingertips. All you got to do is look it up. But you have to be mindful, though, when you look it up. You got to do some fact checking, though, too, because you got to remember something. There's a lot of things on the internet that can be edited and altered in many ways. So like Wikipedia, you can go in there and edit it. Anybody can. That's why we're not allowed to use Wikipedia in college as a reference. We're not, because of that simple fact that anybody can go in and edit. Now, they did say, instead of using Wikipedia, you can look at the references that were used for that particular, whatever it is we were researching. So, and then you just spotted, oh gosh, wow, okay, called salt, the forbidden spiritual weapon. Right, what no one has ever revealed to you, that can't be true for starters, have never seen this channel. Will you share that? Okay, can you send that one to me in an email, Chris? Because I'm interested in that, because I can see where salt would be a forbidden spiritual weapon, but it's really not forbidden. It's being used in all our foods. It's being used to poison us for radio frequency poisoning. So I would like to, I mean, y'all know that. For those who have been with us for a while, you know that I'm big on got to reduce your excessive salt intake. You got to watch it. Okay, I know it's difficult to do from time to time, but I want y'all to keep that in mind. It's one of the ways to combat radio frequency poisoning for healthier living is to reduce your salt and sugar intake. Big time. Keep that clarity going. But, yeah, if you don't mind, all right, forward that one to me. I'd like to take a peek at that. So you're saying it's typical rabbit hole fodder, clickbait. Okay, well, I still want to check it out and see. Not that I don't trust you. I'm just, because, yeah, the forbidden spiritual weapon, salt is not forbidden. It's everywhere. So, yeah, that's why I'm interested in, right. And So, well, yeah, we were talking about annual. It does mean once per year, not 2 or 3 times per year. I don't, right. And, well, the difference between being in an actual hotel, don't do that, because that would drive business away real quick, don't you think? Yeah. Okay. Well, no, and remember, Chris, I understand you say that that's not fair. That I didn't have to. That's the thing. The Lord told me to move my business trip up. That I was going to take anyway next week. So He said to do it now. And well, okay, that's the other reason why I tell y'all, don't get stuck in. You're not supposed to stay in the rabbit hole, okay? Because you can get lost in there real quick. Remember, Alice in Wonderland? Okay. Yeah, be mindful of that. Right, you get that feeling of your discernment picking up and sharpening as you go through the rabbit hole. Absolutely. And so Warriors Against Narcissism shares that many chosen ones are dealing with narcissists because they have a higher calling, like many of the patriarchs in the scriptures. Well, that's very true. Yeah, it says that many chosen ones are dealing with narcissists because we have a higher calling. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and then we talk about how, well, yeah, the sleepers are doing a lot of, they're doing a lot of looking and watching, but they're not aware. I mean, like we weren't at one time either. Yes. Okay. And let's see. Okay, we've got a well, and you're welcome. But yeah, y'all remember, if you see someone come in and start putting gibberish in the comments, just give me a second. I'll get to them. I have no idea. Yeah, you heard the siren too. Okay. When our Heavenly Father revealed the true identity in who we are in Christ and the Messiah, the nefarious narcissists are powerless. Exactly, because we figure out how to get around their resistance. Just like with the fire alarm inspection, again, we figure out how to get around that. Well, like really, because we're aware of the fact that it's trying to numb our autonomic nervous system again, which is not going to happen anyway. The only thing is that we don't need to allow ourselves to be exposed to that. There's no reason for it. So, and they will. Okay, so, well, yeah, that's the other thing that we learned about in the rabbit hole is how complicit and how compliant, how many obeyed during that scamdemic. I was like, wow. I mean, it really, it sure opened our eyes to a lot of things, big time. And it wasn't too long after realizing that. I mean, I was still delivering pizzas at the daycare pizza place when I went down the rabbit hole. Oh my goodness. And so that we learned that too, that if narcissists don't get their way, they are very big crybabies. All right, they will run to the doctor for every little thing that doesn't exist because they tell themselves they have this. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. You got to be mindful what you speak. The power of life and death is in the tongue. God is very clear about that. So you got to be mindful what you tell yourself. Here's my tip: if you find yourself waking up, right, and you got to think about it. What did you eat the day before? Did you have a little bit too much salt, maybe a little bit too much sugar? Okay, it happens every once in a while. Not like we can monitor everything, but you want to think about, okay, right, if you're feeling a little bit stuffy, okay, Don't tell yourself anything negative. Get up, walk around. Blow your nose if you got to, but walk around. Don't say nothing. Think about, wait a minute, what did I eat the day before? Because remember, excess salt and sugar will, it causes more production of mucus. Okay, so that's what you're experiencing. And so you want to kind of walk it out, get your circulation going. Splash some water on your face, whatever it is you got to do. But do not tell yourself. Because what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is why a lot of them, they're crybabies and they run to the medical matrix for everything. More about that on the Patreon channel as well. And then, there you go, the rabbit hole. That's it right there. Okay, the lure of secret. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Because that's a really great way that, a really great way to get people stuck in the rabbit hole too. Because there's a lot of people that got stuck in the rabbit hole. Right. Well, the sleepers don't know how to analyze. Remember what I said yesterday, that narcissists, they can think just fine as long as they're told what to think. But they're not analytical at all. Many of them told us that we need to stop analyzing everything. No. Chosen ones know that we need to analyze. Because remember, God says that we're going to sit back and we're going to look narrowly upon thee and wonder, is this the one who made the earth rumble, right? Yeah, it is the warning expert narc detector shirt. Okay, everybody? Yeah, this one gets a lot of weird reactions sometimes in public. Go figure, right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, the sleepers are not. Like, they don't know how to use an analysis. And not only that, a lot of them don't even realize what analyzing really is as far as connecting dots and like really thinking outside the box and problem solving. And so during the scamdemic, for many of us down the rabbit hole, we noticed that a lot of them, well, the behaviors, I don't know if scary, well, some of them could be, but I felt the fear. I felt the level of fear in them, especially the elderly. And I said to myself, wow. I say they really are living in extreme fear. And I'm going to tell you, the level of fear, whoo, it was electrifying. I was like, man, I got to shake this off. I didn't internalize it, but I was like, wow. It was, yeah, I have no word to describe the amount of fear that those people are living in. It's beyond comprehension. Chosen one, seriously. And that's it right there. Thank you. Warriors against narcissism. Complacency is going to lead to their destruction. Remember, another thing we learned down in the rabbit hole, he says symbolism will be their downfall. Well, similar thing right there. Yeah, another word, animism, go figure. But yeah, symbols. We start paying attention to those now. We don't ignore them anymore. And complacency. Yep, getting in that comfort zone. That's going to be their destruction. Remember, God says that they are going to perish. They will wax old, like doth a garment. Because motorcycle, nice. But yeah, they will. They're going to destruct. They self-destruct. Narcissists are very self-destructive, which is what the devil wants. He wants as many people to be as self-destructive as possible because, remember, when he can't get to us directly, he sends the narcissist. If that doesn't work, he wants us to engage in self-sabotage. Even if we don't know it. This is why we got to learn to, step back and take a look and be like, okay. And then we do. We study. Well, they study. Narcissists. Right. And, well, you start case studying everything. There you go. That's what we do. I was like, okay. So yeah, I mean, we've got a case study going on still. It's ongoing because it's definitely going to be another book. I can tell you that. Okay, I can tell this area is going to be a little interesting. Yep, okay. Sounds like a little something going down out there. Frequencies, right? You hear the high and low frequency in there? Yeah, you hear that high frequency and then the low frequency. Yeah, it sounds lively over here, doesn't it? Outside, that is. But, well, okay, narcissists cannot steal our identity. When we know who we are in Christ, they cannot mirror spirituality. I have said that many times on videos in here. They cannot. I realized that when I went down the rabbit hole, is that they cannot. Oh, no. They cannot mirror our spirituality because we are on the righteous side, chosen one. Okay, we are God-chosen children, so we're on the right side. You know, God is a righteous God. Narcissists are the unrighteous. They are the unthankful. They are unholy. They are ungodly. They like to have that form of godliness, but deny the power therein. Because you got to have Jesus in order to access God. So and that's what I'm saying. You hear that high frequency and the low frequency out there. We've been surrounded by that our entire lives. We didn't realize it was manipulating our autonomic nervous system. Yes, thank you. I've said that also, that the devil tried to copy God, but he sucks at it. That's the thing. Just like these narcissists, once we become aware of what they're doing, they're trying to copy us. They suck at it. Let me give y'all an example, okay? As we get into some more of the and more part. All right, because we learn a lot of stuff down in the rabbit hole. So when you catch this on the replay, also drop some comment below, okay, about the rabbit hole as well. What did you learn inside that rabbit hole? Let's share. Iron sharpening iron here. Right, okay, you live close by a big H, so your frequency, the frequency out there is constant. I hear you. Okay, I understand. I get it because I once resided in a place, it was Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it was not that far from one of those big H's as well. So we heard a lot of that. And then also a fire department. Whoo! Right around the corner. Yeah, so it was very lively there too. I mean, we're not complaining. I actually got used to it. So it don't bother me. No, it's just, but we're aware of it now. We're aware of how the high and low frequency is designed to try to manipulate our autonomic nervous system. But, yeah, and the devil cannot copy God. And so these narcissists can only mirror us to an extent. They cannot mirror spirituality. So the Jezebel that gave birth to me tried to do that, tried to copy me with working out. And right, as I'm doing my insanity, at the time I was doing the Insanity Max with Beachbody at that time. And then sometimes I get out and do my speed walk. And she asked if, she wanted to do some sit-ups and stuff. So she started trying to work out, but it didn't last. But I don't even think a few times. I only saw her actually do sit-ups once. That was it. So that's what I'm saying. They give up and give in that easily when they don't see immediate results. Not realizing that, listen, if our body got a little out of shape there for a season, it's going to take us a little bit of work, but we got to have patience and discipline and dedication. We got to up that protein. All kinds of things. So, okay, did I hear about the university study where people were told to pick out the narcs? Most people picked out the ones with the very arched eyebrows. Oh my gosh. Okay, Warriors Against Narcissism, thank you for bringing that up, because I made a comment on Instagram. I saw that study about arched eyebrows, and I lit in to him in the comment there. I said, my goodness, I need y'all to understand something. You cannot identify a narcissist based on outward appearances. You cannot identify a narcissist based on facial features. You cannot identify a narcissist by physical traits. No, you cannot identify a narcissist by eye color. You cannot identify a narcissist by eyebrow shape. You cannot by head shape, nose shape, ear shape. Okay? You cannot identify a narcissist with anything physical like that. It's in their fruits. You know them by their fruits. And it's their behaviors. It's their actions. Are they giving you the evil eye? That's a Jezebel. Are they staring you down with that look of hate? That's a narcissist. Okay? Are they dishing out gaslighting? That's a narcissist. Okay? Are they mocking? Are they making fun of? That's a narcissist. That's the kind of stuff that identifies a narcissist. You cannot identify a narcissist based on physical appearance. And not only that, you can if you look into their eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul. And for those of us who can spiritually discern, we can tell whether or not they have a soul. And with the narcissist, they do not have one. They're done. They've been turned over to a reprobate mind. I had a narcissist, when I told a narcissist, the ex-psycho roommate, to be exact, that his pretend mistress, I said, man, you look in her eyes, there ain't nothing there. I said, she has no soul. And he said, who are you to determine that? I'm like, yeah. Because that upset his demon spirit, because it let his demon spirit know that I was developing the spiritual discernment that I needed going forward, that we all need going forward, and we continue to get better at it, because there's nothing new under the sun, but God has to reveal all. Yeah, and yeah, most people can't make their eyebrow arch demonically. I mean, really? That, and I don't even know. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, you cannot identify a narcissist based on facial features, eyebrow shape, eye shape, nose shape, mouth shape. Oh, no. No. Yeah, demonic eyebrows is a skill. I guess so. Oh, gosh almighty. Right, well, there you go. If they make hurtful personal remarks, yeah, see, chosen ones, we don't do that. If somebody is making hurtful personal remarks, you can tell that's a narcissist, because only a narcissist does that. Even chosen ones, it didn't matter how upset we might have gotten. We didn't do that. It's just we could not bring ourselves to do that. It was like, no, because I remember being taught by my biological dad growing up that two wrongs do not make a right. It's just like two lefts don't make a right if you continue going left. Anywho, right, put that one on the resume. Oh, I like y'all's sense of humor. But yeah, you got to be mindful. You know, they have all these. And, you know, that's the other thing down the rabbit hole. We also start to see a bunch of useless studies. Like, I remember asking, I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. Who is paying for that kind of stuff? Who is paying for that kind of study? And yeah, identifying a narcissist based on eyebrows, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't even want to know who paid for that. I don't even want to know. It don't matter. It don't matter. Because that's just that's another false narrative, and I will tell you it's because of cognitive dissonance and social influence that most people were picking that particular eyebrow shape, because the people that were picking it before them people just to follow along. Cognitive dissonance causes people to follow along with what others are doing. If somebody else is picking out that particular eyebrow, then they're going to pick it out too, because they really don't know any better themselves. But they don't want to stand out. Right? You probably would get the job if you put that on your resume. Oh, really? It depends on the job. It depends on the job. But, I just want to get up here and give that to y'all today about the rabbit hole. And please remember that it's important to have that discernment and remain mindful, okay? And don't allow yourself to be pulled, okay, in multiple directions with all of that. Listen to your intuition, okay? Listen to that God-given intuition that's on the inside of you. When you go looking into this or looking into that, researching this or researching that, you want to be mindful, because not everything in the rabbit hole is what it seems either. You got to remember something. The world is a stage. So the game of narcissism being played out daily. And it's going to, it's going to continue to impact. Oh, for sure. It's going to continue to, deceive, obviously, because the game of narcissism really is all about that deception. Want to continue to deceive people and want to continue keeping people asleep. Remember what the motto of the Matrix is, right? Yeah, it's obey, consume, sit down, don't ask questions, right? It's like we learned down in the rabbit hole too, that basically if you keep them fed, keep them entertained, fed, clothed, and housed, they'll never ask questions. They develop that comfort zone. They become complacent. And they're easy to catch off guard. See, when we keep our guard up, chosen one, it doesn't mean that we're walking on eggshells. Oh, no. It's that heightened awareness. It's remaining vigilant and aware, like God tells us, because he says in 1 Peter 5, verse 8, that the devil is always, our adversary is always roaming about, seeking whom he can devour. You cannot take that lightly. This is a spiritual battle. And it's for the mind. That's why we talk a lot about that mindset shift. Oh, we have tons of them as part of the renewing of the mind. Because we cannot allow ourselves to go back to the old way of thinking. The old version of us is gone. Yeah, when God awakened us to all the narcissism, we go down that rabbit hole and we start developing that spiritual discernment. We're able to tell the truth from the lies now. We're able to pick out the truth and separate it from the lie. And remember that the devil, all these fear-mongering narratives trick the sleepers into going out there and playing themselves. And as they do that, they play themselves, and that just helps the devil's lies look believable, which is exactly what he wants and why he does what he does with those fear-mongering narratives, which we see a lot of those down the rabbit hole as well. So you have to be mindful. And we all learn lessons, and we're learning them together. That's the important part in this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, is that we got to stay with it. We got to keep going. And we don't allow the enemy to interfere with whatever it is that God has us working on. It's another reason why we learn to get around that resistance. With God, all things are possible. But the narcissist will never, ever, ever understand that. They will never understand chosen one. They're not meant to. Let that sink in, okay? The narcissists are not meant to understand chosen one. That's right. The Messiah came to set the captives free. Exactly. Jesus came to set us free. True freedom is in Christ. And not only that, he came so that we can live and live more abundantly. And it's a beautiful thing. So I want y'all to let that sink in. And, you know, the more that we learn together, the more we grow. And the closer to God we get, remember that, the more we will increase in spiritual discernment. Our spiritual gifts will improve going forward. Our spiritual ability will become like second nature. We can sense when something's off. We no longer ignore it. I would tell you something though. One thing I noticed about when I checked into the hotel, so I'm going through the hallway and stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting this, I'm sensing that this place, like this time of year where we're at, is not like too busy, but it's also the middle of the week, right? It's not the weekend. But it's you can tell that it's, I mean, it's decent, you know, like we don't have to have anything fancy, but I could tell just walking the hallway, it's like I'm sensing that this place at one time was pretty hopping. I don't know, it's just a thing that came over my spiritual ability when I checked into this place. And I said, wow, I'm feeling a bit of nostalgia going on. You know, like I'm not living in the past or going, but I'm sensing something from, like, there's some sort of, it's just, I don't know, the decor maybe, you know, just the colors, the paint, and then just the atmosphere. And I mean, it's very, yeah, very calm, and it's not, it's really intriguing. The best way to describe it is I was walking through the hall and, you know, getting in and out of the elevator, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it just reminds me of something out of a movie of sorts. But I could sense that this place was pretty hopping during its heyday. And it probably does still have some of its moments, but, you know, it's pretty solid hotel, I can tell you that. And it was just, it's just intriguing. I don't know, not spooky or anything like that, just a bit of like, almost as if the hotel itself misses the old days. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like not me, you know, but the hotel itself, like the atmosphere or whatever, like it misses the old days. Like the old days had a lot going on. Like they got conference rooms, they've got, I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on. And so it's like something, I'm just sensing that the hotel itself it misses the old days or something. I don't know, but it's really intriguing. So there's a little food for thought. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, nostalgic. Yeah, basically. Right. You know what I mean? Imprints of the past somehow in the spiritual. And I was like, wow, that's really intriguing. And wow. But that's what I sense going through the halls here. But anyhow, nonetheless, I mean, listen, chosen ones, we're divinely protected. All right. Just make sure you put that armor of God on all the time. All right. Glory be to God for that armor. All right, but we're going to wrap it up right there for this episode. I just wanted to get on, and I know, you know, Wednesdays usually is a toss-up, but I understood what you were saying there, Chris. I understood. All right, I understood. I got you. I got you covered. Don't fret over those typos, y'all. We all have them. All right, but there you go. Okay. All right, everybody. So, yeah. Just keep on keeping on, and don't hesitate if you're new to the channel. Check out those links below. You can learn more about this ministry and the work. Yeah, not only in the link, but also in my book, Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse, Someone's Survival Guide. You can get it on Amazon, right on the website, which that link is below. The audiobook is only available on the website, but you can get a paperback ebook. Right, you can get the PDF download right off the website, easy peasy. and then across multiple ebook platforms, okay? So if you look up Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse, type that in the search query, and you will find tons of places where you can get yourself a copy. That's the best way to learn more about this ministry and how it came to fruition. And everybody just keep on keeping on, okay? Don't give up and give in. And we will see you again real soon. All right, everybody. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.